Yes, sir.
Governor, thank you for coming to the North Country.
Who are you, Father?
Father Andrew Nelson, I'm a priest at the Catholic parish here. Thank you for coming up.
Merry Christmas. I know I can
Merry
say
Christmas
it to you.
too. Thank you also for coming to the community college. We love the college. It's a great gift to our community. But my question is particular to some legislation that both congressmen, men and women in New Hampshire have been working on, and Senator Ayotte has been working on introducing into the Senate this week. That legislation would acknowledge and call by its proper name what ISIS or Daesh is doing to, in particular, our Christian communities in the Middle East, as well as Yazidi Muslims, Kurds, Turkmen, the Cake people, as genocide. And I'm wondering if you will join them in calling. We have both Annie Koster, our liberal Democratic congresswoman for this district, Frank Ginta, a conservative Republican from the 1st District, and Senator Ayotte have all signed on with the human rights community to acknowledge it what it is, to force the international community to respond as in an area that responds as genocide.
I do. I support that.
The second part of my question would be, I won't let
you
you off the hook.
I'm not off the hook. I just answered your first part.
No, thank you. And that's a good answer. It's the right answer. The second part is, I haven't heard conversation in Washington, and perhaps you can shed some light or your thoughts on, when looking at the refugee crisis, on particularly targeting those communities who ISIS targets, Christians, Yazidis, Kurds first. And what our reports certainly from church organizations in the Middle East, what is happening is those most targeted by ISIS will not go into the refugee camps because they don't feel safe. And then the government only pulls for refugees from the refugee camps.
Exactly.
And the people most in need.
You're looking at the only guy, Father, I got the drift. You're looking at the only candidate that I'm aware of that has been specifically expressing, a candidate for president at least, expressing this view that you just described. And you said it in a way I've not said it before, so if you don't mind, I'm going to steal how you said it because it sounds better, which is religious minorities in the Middle East are being targeted by radical Islamic terrorists, ISIS in particular. If you are in ISIS-held territory and you're a Christian, you'll be beheaded. I had at a town hall meeting not far from here, a Syrian woman with tears in her eyes and quivering voice said, I have 10 relatives that were in Syria and they've escaped to Turkey. And had they stayed in ISIS, they would have been killed. What will you do for them? And I laid out the plan that I gave in the preliminary remarks. And I said that Yazidis and Christians, Turkmens, these are religious minorities, are the ones that we should have the highest priority for two reasons. One, but for us who? And in fact, I have my son Jeb Jr. is here, and his wife was born in Canada. Her parents are Iraqi Christians. So I have a little bit more understanding perhaps than the average person about this. And they're losing, Iraqi Christians can't go back home. Mass had been said for 1,500 years in Mosul. It cannot. So this is different. And I've been called out by the President of the United States by having this view, by the way, which I wear as a badge of honor because I don't think he's correct about this. I do think that we have a special obligation to deal with Christians. It's not at the expense of Muslims who are peace-loving, not at all. But they are the ones that are being targeted. For me, the best example of this doesn't relate to ISIS. It relates to an ISIS-related group that beheaded 18 or 19 Christian Copts on the shores of the Mediterranean. They were saying the Lord's Prayer. That's why they were being beheaded. If you don't have any sense of identity with that as a Christian, I don't know what would motivate you. It motivates me and compels me to believe that the United States should be there to provide support. And so I've gone about raising money. There are not many Christian organizations as involved in this as I thought there would be. It's actually kind of shocking to me. And they can't go into refugee camps. But for us who? That's my view, and I'm going to stick with it. Someone at a town hall meeting last night said, look, we had a pleasant conversation. I mean, it didn't get heated or anything. He just said, I disagree with you. I can't vote for you for that view. Well, I'm not going to change my view on something so deeply held. This is not about politics. This is about your identity, your faith. I mean, I think we have to be motivated to do this, and it is genocide inside of ISIS, and we should call it for what it is. Thank you, Father. Merry Christmas to you.